Welcome to the third episode of Creativity from Within. Today we would talk about the intersection of faith and creativity. The objective of today's podcast is to inspire listeners to connect their creative journey with their spirituality. My guest today is Janine Kline, who is the founder and president of Cuddles from Cassidy. And Janine would tell us a little bit about her nonprofit. Janine, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Thanks for being here. If you could share your experience with faith and creativity as the founder of Cuddles from Cassidy, how did it get started? If you could tell us a little bit about the background.
Yeah, sure. So basically in 2019, my 3-year-old daughter at the time was unexpectedly diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. She went through 2 years of grueling cancer treatments, and while we were going through this and while my life got turned upside down, I had a job in corporate America and had to just leave it and pivot and become her full-time caregiver overnight. My strong faith in God helped me to get through it. And also I knew from the beginning, from her diagnosis, that we would turn our pain into purpose. There was never a doubt that Cassidy would be healed. And while we were in the hospital, the idea came to me that we need to start a pediatric cancer foundation. So our foundation is based on providing care packages to children battling life-threatening illnesses, predominantly cancer, but also any life-threatening illness, because toys and play really helps children kind of understand what they're going through more and just eases anxiety, especially when they are faced with these type of complex medical situations, and it just helps them. So Cuddles from Cassidy was born.
That's beautiful. In terms of support, like outside support, do you have any sponsorships?
Yeah, so basically Stop and Shop, they're my number one corporate sponsor. They're amazing. They hold toy drives for us throughout the year, and they donated a lot of toys, and that really helps me not to have to stress about where I'm finding the volume, because we support several local hospitals. We support Memorial Sloan Kettering in the city, Montefiore Children's Hospital in the Bronx, Ronald McDonald House in Valhalla, as well as we send toys to children and families all over the United States.
Good. So my next question would be, let's say there's a family watching right now, Easter's coming up, and they want some toys for their little ones. How can do they just go to your website and reach out to you?
Yes, we have, we call them Cuddles requests. So you go onto our website, Cuddles from Cassidy, and you complete that form. And usually it takes about, depending on the volume, it may take maybe 2 to 3 weeks to get the toys out.
How long ago did you form Cuddles from Cassidy? And also, give me a ballpark, how many toys have you donated?
Yeah, so Cuddles from Cassidy was founded in 2020. And to date, we have probably distributed about 30 to 35,000 toys to, again, area hospitals and children all over the United States. Thanks, Stop and Shop. Your partnership is amazing. And I can walk you through the process. So they hold toy drives for us, and people donate new toys. And then I also receive grants from other large companies, and we purchase toys and ship them. And
And can you tell the audience a little bit about what was the role of prayer, meditation, and quiet reflection? How did that help you through this ordeal, like coming from the ordeal into now paying back and doing so many wonderful things for people, for children in particular?
Yeah, well, I was raised by an amazing mother.
Thank you.
And So basically, I've always had a very strong spiritual background. I've known God. I know that God is there for me no matter what. And basically, any situation that I face in my life, I go to Him first. My spirituality, whether it be meditating or, journaling, even just taking a walk outside if Cassidy's in a scan, or if she had, if she was in the child life room or something like that, just getting some fresh air and just like really centering yourself, because when you're going through something like that, you don't have time to crumble, and you just have to be strong. And yeah, just like my belief in God and praying and just quiet time when she's sleeping, whether it's like 2 o'clock in the morning or something, just really helps me to face the next day or next hurdle.
And what would you say to someone right now that just got a diagnosis of cancer for their little one, like you did with Cassidy? What 3 words can you say to them, or maybe a sentence, that could encourage them to keep the faith, not give up, and to just center themselves, not just in God's presence, but in the presence of people that can genuinely be there for them?
Yeah, I would say you got this. It doesn't seem like you have it, but you got this because you don't have a choice, right? This is your child. It's something that happened, and you're going to get through this. Even on the hardest days, hardest nights, the sleepless nights, lean into your family. Don't be afraid to ask for help. A lot of people are going to want to help. You're going to feel overwhelmed. You don't know exactly what you need, but don't shut people out, and just, don't be afraid to ask for help.
Do you have, like, with the children, I know that you don't see them, but do the hospitals request any particular type of toy?
Yes. So basically, sometimes they like a lot of activity kits. Play-Doh is huge. Definitely the teddy bears, where they can do role plays, so that they, especially with the younger children, they could, show them what a port is, or, like how the teddy bear is laying down to go to sleep for the scan, or things like that. So yeah, they do tend to ask for things, and they just know that we tend to provide a lot of really great toys, having been there, having lived the experience of having a child who depended on the toys that the child life department gave at the hospital. We tend to know what toys are popular.
And to segue into, I know that with children and hospitals, there's always that one doctor that becomes their hero. Did you have that experience?
Yes, Cassidy's Dr. Wexler. We love him. He's amazing. He has been with us from day one, and we cannot repay him. Words cannot even begin to describe how grateful we are for everything that he's done for us and for our daughter.
So the hospital that he works at, you guys also donate to them?
Yes, Memorial Kettering Sloan, yeah.
So that's a beautiful
Memorial
way.
Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, yes.
That's a beautiful way to give back. That's beautiful. And what practical exercises can you give to parents with kids that have been diagnosed with cancer? How would you tell them? What can you say to them about praying? Because a lot of times when things like this happen, we want to pray, but we are so devastated that we don't know how to begin. We don't know, what do you say, because you're so hurt, you're disappointed, you're overwhelmed. What can you say to parents? How can they start the faith process of praying, and what would you suggest they do? Simple steps.
So literally just one word, Jesus. That's the prayer.
Okay.
Sometimes that's all you could mutter. That's all you have the strength to get out, just Jesus. And in that moment, he comes and he helps you. And just always remember that even though you're going through something so difficult, so horrific, you're not alone.
That's wonderful. How's Cassidy, and what role does she play in Cuddles from Cassidy now?
Yeah, so Cassidy actually was the inspiration for this, not only for her diagnosis, but because while she was in the hospital at 3 years old with no hair and going through chemo and all the things, she would always want to give toys to, she called, the babies. And a baby could be a 16-year-old that's in the on the oncology floor. It could be a true baby, you know, an infant, or it could be a 7-year-old. Like, she always gave toys to other children, new toys, and that's how it started. And yeah, Cassie's amazing. She's very healthy. She's a rambunctious, wonderful, beautiful 9-year-old girl. And her role in this is that she just really, she understands the severity of what she went through. She understands how lucky she is to have come out of it, because some friends that she met in the hospital did not. They were not so lucky. And she chooses a toy. She likes to help deliver the toys. You know, she really has a hands-on approach to her Cancer Foundation, which she reminds me every day, Mommy, this is my pediatric cancer foundation.
That's good.
So yeah.
Wonderful. And what's on the horizon for you and Cassidy? I know that this is just the beginning. You don't have to share all of your secrets, but do you have things lined up moving forward that you guys are working on?
Yeah, absolutely. We would love to widen our reach, hold more events, gain more corporate sponsorships, and just touch more lives.
Oh, that's beautiful. And what do you do for fun? How do you, now moving forward with this great news, what do you do for you? What are your next steps for Janine?
For me, I think definitely just appreciating every single day, spending time with the family, and also finding time to decompress with, you know, spending time with myself and being able to, you know, go out with my girlfriends or have a chat or a coffee or, you know, things like that. Working out, things like that just really centers me.
And how do you surrender control and just trust the outcome? Because you have an amazing story and testimony. So what would you say to others? How can they go about surrendering control and just trusting the outcome?
Well, I mean, you really have no control when something like this happens, and you just have to not succumb to the negative feelings, not succumb to the overwhelming emotions that, you know, you will face, and just lean on each other in love. If you have a spouse, if you have a partner, even if you don't, just lean on your community, lean on your pastor, lean on your friends. Just people really genuinely want to help you. And I feel like for me, it was very hard to ask for help, hard to accept help. But it's important.
And what would you say, what role would you say creativity, meaning problem solving, plays as a spiritual gift? Because I know that you've had a lot of support from the church and from family and some friends. So what role would you say that played? I know it did an important role, but is there one moment, a good fun moment?
Yeah, it just basically, it kept me going. You know, just knowing that I had this support system in place, even if, you know, I'm alone in the hospital with her for like 2 weeks and I haven't seen outside, and I'm in a windowless hospital room and I'm just surrounded by this day in and day out. Being able to pick up the phone and call my mom, or being able to, you know, call an elder in the church or call a friend. Just leaning on the support system really got me through it.
That's wonderful. And on a lighter note, what, in terms of Cuddles from Cassidy and you, what are the next steps? What do you see in the future in terms of, I know that you donate a lot of toys to the hospitals. Do you see like writing in the future? Do you see traveling in the future? What do you see, like workshops? Just to get your story out. It's a beautiful story. And for you and Cassidy to share it, because, you know, it's important to share these experiences because it can help so many people to know that there is hope and that there will always be people to support you and people that actually want to hear your story, because stories do help. So what would you say?
Well, I mean, I do have 32 chapters of a book as that hasn't been written yet because I can't go back. But yeah, hopefully I will be able to have the courage to write the book to impact and be inspiring to other people.
Oh, that's beautiful. And on a final note, if you had to give a positive message to somebody whose child is just cured and they don't know what the next steps are, what would you say to them? Like, how can they move forward? Can they join a network? What can they do to for next steps moving forward?
I think just be grateful, right? Definitely be grateful that you got through it, you made it. I'm a strong believer in paying it forward. So whether it's, when you go back to the hospital, you see a family in the waiting room, just sharing your story may not seem like much, but to somebody that, was just diagnosed and just started treatment and things like that, or that are just stumbling through the dark, your story can be a light to them.
Oh, that's beautiful. Well, thank you so much for being here and for sharing the story and for letting us know about Cuddles from Cassidy. I know firsthand that you guys do an amazing job. I'm very proud of you. I'm very, very proud of Cassidy. She's a beautiful, talented little girl. And my prayer for you and for all the parents out there, whether your children are going through something or not, each day is valuable. And it's important to take time with your children and to tell them just one thing every day. How was your day? Take 2 minutes, make eye contact with them and let them know that you love them, because life is short and we never know what's on the horizon. On that note, I wish you all success and love. I hope that somebody was helped and inspired with this amazing episode. Thank you.